Hey guys, welcome back to Heiko Shaves. Today we're going to do another comparison shave, and it's going to be involving those two Yaqi razors. These are really affordable, very well made adjustable razors. This one here, it's the Final Cut Brass, which was generously provided to me by JR, one of the channel supporters. Is only on loan, so I don't get to keep it. And this one here is my Yaqi Ultima stainless steel. This one here is about a $120 razor, and this one is about a $140 razor. Both adjustable from 1 through 6, and they both currently have a Persona Platinum razor blade in it. JR was so kind to provide a pack of blades, and gotta use it, right? I already have pre-shave in my face, and I figured we're gonna compare those two because they're pretty hot items, hot tickets. You can get an adjustable razor out of stainless steel or out of brass, CNC machined for, you know, around 140 bucks, 140, 120, right? So they are pretty hot tickets at the moment, and a lot of people have asked me, so how do they stack up against each other? And then ultimately, before I send this one back to JR, because he probably wants it back, I will also have to make a comparison to the $28, the Final Cut, you know, the zinc alloy version. But today we're using the two fancy ones, and we will find out which one is more usable for a daily shaving experience without irritation, without cutting yourself. And as you can see, there's quite some stubbles here. I haven't shaved in like 2.5 days. And it just springs out of my face like this. So they're preloaded. My face is pre-treated. We're gonna use Awesome Sauce by PAA. You know, that's like the alternative to green PAA Soap. And I really like this. And we're also gonna use the aftershave. It's sitting here somewhere, right here. There it goes. Awesome Sauce, very mentholated, very fresh. I love it. And then, since we're already in the world of PAA, we might as well use the Pellegrino synthetic. All right, and my sinks are already all preloaded here as well. Water is in it. We're pretty much good to go. And we're going to find out if there's any major difference between those two fully adjustable razors out of the house Yaqi. I actually noticed just now that both of them have a serial number, so they are serialized, and maybe if Yaqi actually keeps track of their records, you can find out when it was made exactly, and you know, for collectors' sake, maybe 20 years down the road. All right, let's get my face just wet a little bit. Like I said, there's already Parasso green pre-shave on my face. That's almost become like my normal standard pre-treatment before every shave. And now let's get my synthetic brush wet. We don't need to pre-soak. Synthetic is that way. You can just get them wet, shake off most of the water, and then I just go into PAA soap. Last time I used this soap, I completely overloaded the brush, and then I ended up with this creamy mess in my face. So it didn't work out all that well. This time, I hope I will do a better job. So let's cream it on my face, and then we have to add lots of water, I'm assuming. I do think that the synthetic knots, or at least this synthetic knot here on the Pellegrino, is a little on the soft side. I wish this would be a little stiffer. You know, inexpensive Chinese-made brushes that I have, the DS Cosmetic from AliExpress and the KIKC from Amazon. They're like, you know, 10, 15 bucks a piece. They have really nice soft feeling bristles, but they are a little stiffer. So they behave a little bit more like a badger, like a mean. All right, we need to get more water in this face here. We're still cold shaving, so my water is all cold still. But the weather is turning cold outside. We already had the first snow. All right. I think that should do it for the first pass. All well pre-treated. Get the soap off the hands. All right, which side shall we? Let's do this side for the stainless and the other side for JR's brass Yaqi, the final cut. So I guess there are multiple versions. I just looked briefly on Amazon, AliExpress. They're currently selling the V2, which probably means they made some slight changes to it. All right, so we're set at number 1. We have a Persona Platinum, here this type, out of this package, in here, and we're gonna get started. The shave. So yeah, there is a lot of noise now, but probably because there is a lot of stubble too. It isn't this super, you know, the fuzzy blanket, gentle, smooth razor that, you know, you scrape over your face and you barely feel that there's anything going on. There is a little bit of some efficiency going on here. And unfortunately, I have said it already so many times, but a lot of the adjustable razors, they just start at a too high of a level. So if you are a beginner and you would spend 120 bucks for this beautiful brass CNC machined razor, and you think, oh yeah, it's adjustable, I can have a mild shave, you know, I'm a beginner, it might, you know, intimidate you a little bit. So if you're new to double edge safety shaving, just follow the recommendations and get yourself a, I don't even know, Merkur 34C HD, you know, 30 bucks, or you get yourself a Edwin Jagger DE89, or, you know, my recommendation, the Leaf Twig is a good one, or where is my other new favorite, the DE5 by Fine, love it, and just start out with something that's known to be mild, and then get your technique, your equipment, your lathering, all that stuff, get all the ducks in a row, and then once you're super comfortable and you can do that in your sleep, then you're going to spend the money and buy yourself an adjustable razor. Just do that. Just listen to Heiko. Right? All right, here's the stainless steel now. Ha, isn't that funny, huh? How when I've shaved with this one here, just came fresh from China, I thought it was too bold, too efficient, too intimidating. And now I still think that a little bit. It isn't on a number 1, it isn't gentle enough or mild enough. And sure, I can shave with it, and I don't have a problem with it. But with a, you know, 2.5 day growth, and that is always different for everyone, right? So some people have very light beard, very light beard hair that's very thin and barely any resistance to the blade. Mine, wherever it grows very densely, it comes out and it's, you know, it's pretty stubbly. So that was pass 1, and on pass 1 again, I felt like this one, the stainless steel, was a little harsher in its initial attack than this brass one. So the brass one seems to be a little bit milder. Okay, let's rinse them off really well. We're gonna take a quick gander at least what we can see here with a bare eye. So let's get all the gunk out. The PAA soap is really creamy. I mean, really, honestly, it is a cream. It's not a hard pug. So there's still stuff stuck under the blade. Can't wash it out. Let's see here, JR, no worries. It's gonna be pristine when you get it back. I promise. Even though there is still, yeah, I don't know if this comes through here, but the blade gap between the close comb and the blade edge is larger on the stainless steel version than here on the brass. So naturally, I would say, I don't know about the rest of the geometry of this thing. Oh, the blade here on this one is much more recessed. You know, I'm not going against the blade, so don't worry, I'm not going to cut myself. Yeah, this blade here is exposed. It's sticking out more than here on this one. And also the blade gap between blade and close comb, milder than this. So the brass is already, you know, winning when it comes to gentleness. And that's really high on my likability scale. I want a razor that is just efficient enough that after 2 or 3 passes I can get a BBS or a smooth shave out of it. But it feels gentle to the skin. It doesn't irritate. It doesn't, you know, attack you. Whereas the stainless steel Ultima is a little too harsh for me, and even in setting 1. And some guys will say, oh, I don't use it anywhere below setting 5. And I hear you. You know, everyone is different. Everyone has different tolerance to things. And by the way, PAA Awesome Sauce. Second lather out of the same brush is always better than the first. So this is amazing. The menthol in my face is just like cooling. Crazy. All right, second pass, we're still on number 1, and we're going to go across the grain. Talking about beard growth, I need a haircut. My wife cuts my hair. So I think I finally got all my camera settings figured out. I even made myself little stickers over here. I have a shelf here next to me, and there's white balance locked question mark and exposure locked question mark. So I hope I finally got it under control. Yeah, very good, very good. Once there is, you know, lots of the stubbles already removed and the blade doesn't have as much material to remove, it is a completely different experience. So if you shave daily and you really only have a little bit of fuzz every day, it doesn't even feel that aggressive anymore. Yeah, with this one here, there is still enough blade exposure and blade gap that it feels, there's the word again, bladey. That I always want to be extra careful, you know. When a razor has this bladey feeling, then, you know, I always feel like if I just catch a little edge of my skin, I would immediately nick myself. And that's just not really, you know, it's just not, doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies. So, pains me to say it, but my $140 purchase here from AliExpress is just never gonna make it into my daily rotation. I can shave with it, as you can see. It so far we haven't killed ourselves here, but the brass is doing a better job. The brass one, even though they are so similar in design and even made by the same company, you know, we talked about manufacturing methods, CNC milling and stuff during the first shave of the Rex Ambassador that I did, how, you know, actually involved this is to make this all happen, make all those patterns happen. And I just recently started doing some 3D printing, which is a type of CNC process. So it uses a 3-axis system in code to tell the machine what to do. And this is what happens here. So it spins the part while the milling head moves in certain directions, and to coordinate this, it's almost like ballet, you know, it's like ballet for guys. So yeah, CNC machined, this is a good one. And I'm just sad that this stainless steel one is just a little too much for me. It's just a little too much, I admit it. Is your razor too strong? You are too weak. So I'm too weak for the razor. So let's do a third pass. Since we have so much soap here in this Pellegrino brush with this little bit too soft of a knot. I wish it would be a little stiffer. Man, I can barely feel my face. It's so cold. I'm frozen. It's funny how menthol does that. On top of that, I'm using cold water. So, you know, it's kind of cold. All right, look at that. Quick and dirty. And now we're going to do an against the grain. All right, I hope I will not regret it. Yeah, this one here is just fine. So if you want to get yourself a Yaqi adjustable, buy this one. Or if you're just starting out and you want to get your feet wet, let's do another video with these two here. How about that? You guys want that? I think that's a good idea. Then we have it all covered. Then we have compared everything against everything. Yeah. Conclusion is this one is just fine. The little bit of the niggles that I have with this that I already mentioned is, you know, again, pointy edges, not rounded off. The cutting edge is pretty far away from the outer edge of the razor, but overall the manufacturing quality of this thing is pretty incredible. All right, now we're going to go against the grain on my neck. That's ultimately the telltale sign. Yeah, no problem. And this side is even more my problem zone here. So we can definitely do that with the brass here. So the brass is a joy. And now the other side with the stainless Ultima. I've been contemplating if I should try to modify this a little bit. There are some surfaces that I could machine down or sand down to bring the blade closer to the close comb. And, you know, and since it's mine, I can ruin it. The metal in the awesome sauce here is almost like local anesthesia. It's like numbing your face. All right, and now the next section. Yeah, it is pretty bladey, I tell you that. So let's do an inspection here. If we missed anything, nope. There is nothing left. There's a little bit over here. All right, and a tiny little amount here. It's really strange how my hair is really growing that direction. Not up or down, but like this way. And it's really hard to shave this direction here in this corner. So usually I just ignore it. It's just what it is. All right, let's rinse off. All right, all rinsed off. I can tell you that this PAA soap has a lot of residual slickness that you really have to rinse off hard. All right, and I already took the blades out of the razors. I cleaned them off a little bit so that they are more presentable, and we can take one final look at them. All right, so here are the two contenders. The Final Cut brass, whatever version they're currently on. I think version 2 is what I saw on AliExpress. And the Ultima stainless steel. And even with just the top cap on, tightened down without a blade, you can see that the gap between the close comb and the top cap is larger on this one. And that will ultimately give you a larger blade gap. And as I felt with, maybe we can kind of guess this too. So this one here seems to be a little flatter, more squished down, and a little wider. So if you guys, we're gonna go technical here now, hold on. So out of breath, I just ran over to my office. I have this cheap plastic caliper here, which I use for watchmaking. You don't want to use a steel caliper to do measurements on watch parts, because then you're going to scratch them up. And this of course applies also to razors, right? We don't want to scratch them up. So let's measure the width of the top cap as it is on here. Hold on. So we're at 19.1. And now we're going to measure exactly the same. 19.1, I'm shocked. So it is not different. Let's measure the close comb from left to right. 25.2. 25.4. So there is a bit of a difference. That means that the close comb is sticking out further. Interesting. And now I wish I could measure the gap between close comb and the top cap, which would require me to get some feeler gauges, but I can totally see that with my bare eye. So for whatever reason, they made this milder than this. It's just what it is, right, guys? So again, my recommendation, if you want to get an adjustable and you want it to start at a more gentle level of aggression, get the brass. If you are the guy with a steel wire coming out of your face and you like aggressive razors because you only shave every 5 days, then you can get the stainless steel as well. So yeah, again, JR, I really appreciate you sending me over those great razors. Here's the Rex console lurking in the background. We're going to do another video with that as well. I'm not going to let this go that quickly because it's just pretty good. Slant razor. My first slant razor exposure was a cheap $6 Yaqi razor, and it was aggressive as all get out, but it wasn't too bad. And this one is the second slant I've ever used, and it's really good. I mean, the slant, I guess, helps with cutting the stubbles, and they just get the level of aggression just right. So at setting 1, I'm pretty happy with this one. So maybe there's going to be an expensive razor purchase in my future. So, but for those two that we compared today, better for me, for my personal use case, this one is better than this. And this is mine, this is JR's. Alrighty guys, so that's it. Look forward to the next comparison where we will put the Final Cut and the Final Cut against each other. It will happen here sooner or later. And then I guess, then I will have to let it go and send it back to JR, who's probably already chomping at the bit. He really wants it back because he wants to use it. But I can tell you, I got a really smooth shave out of this today. Smooth shave. And here is the awesome sauce mentholated aftershave. Oh, oof. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some tingling going on down there. Probably wait a little long, huh? I'm just rambly as can be. But yeah, that's a nice aftershave and a nice smell too. And surprisingly, my wife likes it. She doesn't like it right after application, but once it wears off a little bit, she likes it. And then on top of that, just to do the skincare a little bit, we're gonna add the PAA Green Balm, which I've been using for a while, and my skin likes it. Oh, see, I waited too long with my aftershave. Now I'm like all red down here. That's what you get. Instead of taking care of your skin, I get the caliper, you know? But hey, it's all for you guys. So that you guys have some purchasing guidance. You know, if you are like me on the gentler side of the razors and you want to find an adjustable that actually works that way. Now there is the question, how does this all compare to my currently, yeah, not the favorite, but one of the favorite adjustables, the Progress, that I use, you know, occasionally. And then we still have the T2 here that we kind of have to take into consideration as well. I've done a first shave so far. I need to get back in there and try it again and see what has changed, or maybe my opinion changes a little bit. Alrighty guys, that's it for today. Lots of rambling, long video, sorry about that. I will see you in the next one. Take care, bye.